There's the camera. Welcome to Bacon Shorts by Bacon Sports. I'm Rob Cressy. This is episode 3. With me, my man, Bacon Sports writer, Cleveland Browns fan, went to Dayton and met Aaron Andrews, my man, Tecmo Bowl expert, Tom Hamm.
Yes, sir. Bacon Nation. What's happening? Good to be here.
Yes. We'll start out with this. Who is your Wrestling Wednesday hashtag random athlete of the day?
Marcus Buff Bagwell.
Oh, nice. So for all of you who aren't following us on Facebook, every Wednesday we do hashtag random athlete wrestling edition where we throw one out. And today mine was the model, Rick Martel.
So beautiful. So beautiful.
And I actually wrote down someone different. I was going to do a separate random athlete wrestler just for this show. And I don't know why I didn't, so I'm going to go with it. It's Tom. It's Tom. It's Vader Tom.
Yes.
I never liked Vader.
I mean, was there any good quality about him, though?
No, the only thing is they really ratcheted up the fear with him right when he came to WCW, when he had those huge shoulder pads with the Satan-looking thing and it blew smoke up. You're like, damn, this dude means business.
Yeah. Now they don't do that anymore, man. It's just simple tights anymore. I need to go back to that day.
Right. I remember actually being scared of Psycho Sid. Like, legitimately, I thought the guy murdered people.
Yeah, I can see that.
So, on today's Bacon Shorts with Bacon Sports, it's a super fun one for all you Tecmo Bowl fans out there. We've got the Tecmo Cast, where my boy Tom and I, we talk about Tecmo Bowl. Because Tom is the author of the Tecmo Bowl offensive big board, the Tecmo Bowl defensive big board. So I would say he is the authoritative expert on Tecmo Bowl and Super Tecmo Bowl, I might add.
Absolutely.
Ain't that right, Tom?
You know, best game of my childhood and probably your childhood too. I mean, sports-wise, for me, it's not a debate.
Right. I would agree with you on that one. I'm just trying to think I think you would get some feedback on some Tyson's Punch-Out as the number one. But, I mean, the Bacon Sports logo is the Tecmo Bowl logo. So, we are a little bit biased here.
Right. Real quick, though, about Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. I don't know if I'm like the absolute minority, but one year for Christmas, my grandma would get us Nintendo games every year. And she got us Mr. Dream's Punch-Out, which I feel is like finding a needle in a haystack. Exact same thing, exact same scenarios, just the end guy is Mr. Dream instead of Tyson. So it was really bizarre when people started talking about Mike Tyson Punch-Out right away. I was like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, I have no idea. And then I realized that I had this like random, it was almost like the Billy Ripken of Nintendo, the Bill Ripken error card of Nintendo games. Like, nobody knew what was going on with it.
That is phenomenal. I remember one time for Christmas, my parents got me, I really wanted those black Dominique Wilkins Reebok pumps. Like, those things were literally, that was like riding a hoverboard. They were that awesome. And they ended up getting me the white and purple ones. And
Oh,
as a little, I don't even know what I was, middle school maybe, just devastated. So to me, that was my Tommy Dreamer, whoever the end guy was of Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, is those shoes.
well, your parents had no idea.
No,
They
of
thought
course not.
I got everything right.
I'm sobbing my eyes out in bed, can't sleep. I'm like, oh my God, my life is over. All right, Tom, let's get to some of these questions about Tecmo Bowl. And the first thing is the music. Just right out of the gate. Boom, Tecmo Bowl logo. Very distinctive. Would you like the Tecmo Bowl intro music as your ringtone?
1000%. I mean, I'm going to go as far as saying theme music. Like we'll skip over the ringtone. It's that good. But I mean, the funny thing with all the music is like you get a succinct feeling like every time you hear something like the injury music. I mean, your heart sinks. And then when you're playing in the season and that person comes off the IR and comes running out of the hospital, it's like the best day of your life.
Oh, that is so awesome. Another game which is very infamous for its in-game graphics was bases loaded when you would call the reliever from the pen.
Oh, it's a little cart that came out.
Right.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And funny story about that, real quick, is uh, my mom. I don't know if she felt sorry for me or what it was, but sometimes she would play against me, and she'd always pick Hawaii, which was by far and away the worst team. But she liked them because they were pink, and it felt bad because I always gave her quite the whooping. But I think she's just trying to make me feel good.
So, is Tecmo Bowl Jackson the greatest video game anything ever? Take any video game ever, and is Tecmo Bowl Jackson the best at what he does of any other video game?
I don't think there can be a little bit of debate. As far as I'm concerned, maybe Griffey and Ken Griffey Jr. baseball's up there, but I don't see it like there are people that were so dominant, but nobody's like Bo. Like the rules didn't apply to him when everybody had to zigzag running away from the computer, straight shot, no messing around. And I mean, everybody. The Raiders didn't have the best run plays, but no matter what you did, the computer blitzed you. You can still go for a touchdown any day. I don't know. The thing I think is kind of a good scenario or talking point is kind of like old school basketball players, football players. They said like, hey, these young kids that are in the sport now, they don't know anything about history. Well, you got young kids playing sports video games, and regardless how old they are, they still know about Bo. That legend's strong. So, I mean, I think everything added up. I don't think it's questionable. There can be some debate, like I said, but it just hard to tilt me any other way.
All right, so I will try and tilt you another way. So, one, based on that, you're saying he was definitely more dominant than Mike Tyson from Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think if you look at the quality of the random characters in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, like obviously they get harder and harder as it goes along. But I mean, Tyson's like he's in a different category, as you know. But I just think comparative base to the whole body of the game that the Bo plays tougher competition. And, this is nothing to discount Tyson because that guy's beyond a boss in that game.
So, and here's the thing. There's nothing you can do necessarily to stop Tecmo Bo, but you can time it with Mike Tyson. Like we would physically be like 11 seconds, 13 seconds, or whatever it is.
Yeah, everybody knew like, when you first started playing it, you would play the first 3-4 times and just get beat, and then you'd kind of figure it out. Like, I mean, you wouldn't even have any sort of a chance. And then you start to get like, okay, yeah.
Do you remember how hard the first time you lost to Tyson you thought he was? You're like, this is impossible, impossible.
It was like you were so elated to finally get to him, right. and then you're like, all right, like I'm kind of on a roll. I'm feeling good about myself, and I mean, you're in there for 2 seconds and you want more. And
you're like, holy crap, like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
If only people put as much determination in everyday life as they did at defeating Mike Tyson, you're like, all right, we got a game plan for this one.
Oh, man, that'd be great. But, yeah, I mean, it was just getting to that final boss in any game, like, let alone that, was like the best feeling. And then it was like, oh, shit.
All right. So, Tom, keeping with the theme that we said of Bo Jackson being the greatest video game anything ever, Is Tecmo Bowl Jackson greater than Ken Griffey Jr.'s 1989 Upper Deck rookie card?
Man, I mean,
How about that question for
that
you?
is that takes me a second. I mean,
That card was fire. It's still currency right now.
yeah, that's the true test of it. I used to have like David Robinson rookies, Elway rookies that were like $100. Now they're like $2 at best. But I don't want to say it's apples to oranges because those are like the two dominant things. But
We're not done yet. I'm just going to keep giving you,
yeah,
just dropping them. So, which are you voting for? Which is more dominant? We got to give official answers.
God,
Right? I'm saying Tecmo Bo is better than Ken Griffey Jr.'s 89 Upper Deck rookie card. As dominant as Griffey was, that card was, Tecmo Bowl is different level. So
yeah, and not only that, like I don't know, you'd probably know off the top of your head, what that Griffey card's worth, and certainly it stood the value. But I mean, I feel like the fact that Tecmo Bowl Bo still gets run nonstop, that like he is beyond last. He's like a father figure of time.
Well, I believe the big thing with the Griffey card was also that it was $100, so it hit triple digits.
Yeah.
And for us, that damn near felt like $10 million.
Right. That's exactly what you thought the Ben McDonald rookie card was.
All right. Up next, is Tecmo Bo Jackson more dominant than Michael Jordan's free throw line dunk?
Man.
See,
These aren't getting any easier. Yeah.
Tecmo Bo right now he's the gold standard, so we're going to see where that standard is.
Yeah. Well, here's one way I kind of compare it. So the original Tecmo Bowl with the original version with not all the teams in it was like dynamic. Everybody absolutely loved that game. It was the first like true awesome football game. And then along came Tecmo Super Bowl, and it was like absolute next level. Everybody was out of their minds about it. Well, I feel like that's kind of how that Jordan dunk was. There were some phenomenal dunks, and then this was like unimaginable. Nobody's ever even heard of it, seen it, expected it. I mean, that is up there, and it's kind of been duplicated in some ways or imitated. And because of that reason, I'm going to give Tecmo the slightest of nods, because there hasn't been a football game, to me at least. Now, again, for our age group, we grew up on Nintendo, so we're kind of partial to that. Like, I'll be quite honest with you, like, I have not played, Xbox, PS3, 4, whatever it's on, football games in a while. So, like, I can't compare those.
But are you biased because you are a Cleveland fan and this is Michael Jordan? You didn't get to enjoy him as much as other people did.
It was all because of my dad. I enjoyed him. Now, did I like him? Absolutely not. And he said, you have to watch this. You'll never see anything like this. So kind of having that predisposed, I really liked Jordan, except when he was playing the Cavs and sometimes the Hornets towards his later Bulls days. But yeah, I mean, there is a little tilt there, but I say like the real bias is the Tecmo. Like, that's on the gold pedestal for me.
Right. As we speak right now, I still have a poster of Michael Jordan in the man cave office, and most of the reason why I created Bacon Sports is because I love sports so much because of Michael Jordan. But despite that, I agree with you, Tom Hamm. Tecmo Bo Jackson is actually greater than that because other people have done that dunk. It just so happens that Jordan is the greatest guy to ever brand that dunk and himself around it. Brent Berry did that shit twice in the weakest slam dunk contest ever. There ain't no weak Bo Jackson somewhere.
No. Hell no is the right answer on that.
All right. All right. Is Tecmo Bo Jackson better than NBA Jams as a whole?
God, I mean, as a whole?
As a whole.
That's
how big Bo is. One Bo versus an entire awesome game.
Yeah, that's the absolute like gold standard of basketball games. It's essentially the Tecmo
Right.
of basketball, and that really the fact that I went to an arcade bar a couple months ago and played NBA Jam there. That's still I am back.
You are
All
back.
right. Okay, so to kind of pick up on the Bo versus NBA Jam question,
Yeah, sorry guys, we got cut off there for a second. We're just gonna splice this back together with editing. We ain't perfect. Well,
uh,
actually, you can blame the internet for that, not us. We did
yeah,
nothing.
the only reason I'm gonna go with Bo on this, and it kind of like I can't compare them all, but the fact that there's very much a debate about who was the best team to play with in NBA Jam, while there's absolutely no debate on who was the best player in Tecmo Bowl.
Right.
So with that, I'm still going Bo here.
Look at that, and I agree with you. Tecmo Bo Jackson, the greatest anything in the world of bacon sports. So, Tom, we have some other things to get to. I think we're going to have to come back and talk more Tecmo Bowl because we didn't even scratch the surface. But there's too many other things sizzling right now that I want to dish with you. So I just got back from the grocery store like literally 1 hour ago. And when I get there, I see this dude with this car with these sweet rims. I'm talking like crappy car, but flyest rims. It's like a Cash Money video. I'm like, oh, I want to take a Snapchat or a picture of something, but the dude's like chilling in it. Like, I'm like, all right, I can't stare at this. So I go inside. I'm just chilling, like ordering some deli meat or something. And the dude who was driving it comes in and he is blaring music from his cell phone while he walks with his girl in the grocery store. So not
No,
only is he getting out of this candy paint dripping car with sweet rims, he's like, you know what? Screw all social norms. I'm going to listen to what sounded something like Drake but wasn't Drake. And I'm just
so
like, dude, this
so
guy
you're
is
telling me
crushing.
that he's literally just walking down or walking the parking lot and like down the aisles with his phone out, just blaring
No,
music.
this is in the grocery
Oh,
store.
it,
In the grocery store. Like right next to me. It's literally as if he has a boombox on his shoulder. He's playing it that loud.
oh my,
However loud your phone can get.
wow. You know what? With your comparison to the boombox, I almost have to respect the hustle there.
Oh my God.
Zero F.
Unbelievable hustle. Unbelievable. The confidence that this man has over everybody else is insane.
Right. Oh my
But
God.
wait, we're not done yet. So I'm already like, all right, this is already an awesome trip to the grocery store. So then I'm in the express lane and there's like two people in front of me and I hear this like 50-year-old dude behind me and this girl that I don't even think was 18 and he was buying beer and I can hear them. I'm literally just listening to what they're saying. She wants him to buy him beer and he's going to do it. So it's like the exchange has happened, and I get it right when they're like going to check out thing. And this chick continued to talk to the guy and made it super, she was super confident but aloof. Like, I've never asked someone to buy me beer, a stranger in the grocery store. So I wouldn't know the norm of how that happened as a kid. Not this girl. She went right up to the guy. She was almost hitting on him, like almost hitting on him, but confident, like keeping the whole flow going the entire time. And she was like, oh yeah, I'm 21. She said it like 4 times to like really reassure. But then they got like specific, like where you live. And I'm like, man, they're giving off like a little, they might see each other again type vibe. Super weird. I pay for my stuff. And the guy gets in right next to me buying the beer with the girl right there. And earlier in the grocery store, I saw this dude who he stood out and I noticed him. Nothing more than that. I was like, man, what's up with that guy? I noticed him. Right next to me, the guy goes to buy the beer. This same dude rolls up. He's an undercover cop and he's like, how old are you? To the girl, busts them on the
Shut
spot.
up.
And he's like, the dude was like, yeah, she said she was 21. And he's like, nah. And the girl then walks away. The guy only put up slight resistance. I mean, he said maybe I thought she was 21 and then like, oh, I'm just buying my beer or something. I didn't know. And this girl walks away and then the dude he like lets him go. It's like he literally scolded the guy, and then the guy buying the beer continued to buy his beer, which was a Bud Light. And the guy who busted him, the cop, was wearing a red shirt.
Oh
So
my!
he stood out.
So, I'm trying to piece this together because this just seems like way too unreal. So,
right. And I'm listening to all of this literally 1 foot from my ear, and I'm like, this is unbelievable what's happening. I'm listening to.
So the girl is not part of the sting.
No, the girl was legitimately trying to buy beer to go home because she's like, I got some steak and pasta cooking. This beer's going to be good.
Oh my Lord. Has it gotten that bad that you need to hang out at a grocery store and try to pick up on unsuspecting old men to get beer?
Yeah, but think about this. So had that worked, she would have then kept using that guy to buy her beer. So maybe that's why she got personal, being like, where you live. Maybe she just stops over because it sounded like they lived in the same, we'll call it neighborhood somewhere, close enough to where they might run into each other again.
I mean, I think at this point, you can't go to the grocery store ever again. It's not going to top that.
No, I know, right? I'm screwed for my standard for grocery stores is like Tecmo Bowl Jackson right now.
You're literally gonna next time you go in line, you're just gonna have your gadget ears out trying to pick up any conversation, and you're gonna realize it's just gonna be, standard is, standard does anymore.
So I actually Snapchatted this entire thing. So you can go on Snapchat right now at Bacon Sports for the next probably 21 hours. And we're shooting this on Wednesday, September 23rd at 8:27 p.m. Central Time. So between probably 7 p.m. till 7 p.m. tomorrow on Thursday Central Time, that'll be up there. My reaction to everything happening. And you can see it.
That's even more impressive that you did that. The fact that you didn't tell me until the end was even more beautiful. That's stealth work to be able to
Of course, it was too good. I couldn't not. It was just too good. It was too good.
You must have had some. They had to be locked in, and you had to have your stealth game on because you can usually kind of sense when somebody's got the phone out doing the snap. So that's major.
I had to do backwards. So I had to do it so that I'm facing it and shooting over my shoulder because I had to just try and get a picture of the guy's shirt to show who the people were.
That needs to go out for some sort of award,
oh my God,
Emmy.
And then we're not done yet. So to close the story out, then the dude in the red shirt, the cop-looking dude who had a nondescript, dorky-looking partner guy in jeans and tucked in something. They're outside just talking to some middle-aged cart guy in a friendly conversation as I'm leaving. So I saw the dude 5 seconds later, literally just scolded the guy, said they couldn't do it. And I was like, I am shocked. This guy's job was to chill at the grocery store and watch for underage drinking.
Right. And then the fact that it actually happened is even good. I mean, when I was underage and I bought beer, there was one place I didn't buy it from. It was a grocery store. It was the shadiest corner store you could find. It's day one stuff.
Right. All right. Next thing that I want to talk about with you. All right. That was just fantastic. Get this. So today I get a call from the Chicago Cubs. And as we speak right now, the Pirates are playing the Rockies with a chance to clinch a spot in the playoffs, and they're 2 games ahead of the Cubs in the division. So all of this, after we're done with this podcast, I'm going to go watch the Pirates hopefully clinch. That being said, I got a call today from the Chicago Cubs. 8 years ago when I moved to Chicago, I put my name in for the season ticket waiting list, and they called today to ask if I want season tickets for next year's Cubs season.
No way.
Yeah.
So you, after all that time,
and you could not have picked a better time to try and buy Cubs tickets.
Oh, God. I mean, I don't know where you come out, especially being a Pirates fan in the same division. Wrigley is one of the best stadiums in baseball. Atmosphere is unbelievable, especially at this time. But at the same time, are you kind of tug of war to be God, I don't know what to do here?
No. So clearly I'm not going to go to tons of games. I
Right.
do support the Chicago Cubs because, one, the Pirates and Cubs haven't earned a rivalry yet. The Pirates have been good. This will be their third consecutive playoff season. The Cubs, it's been a long time. So there's not a hatred towards the Cubs like I feel with football in the AFC North. So you got that. Two, anything awesome that happens in Chicago is a bonus to me because that means Bacon Sports can cover that and we can get down and have fun. And who doesn't want to celebrate potentially the Cubs winning the World Series, which would be insane to be there when all of that happened. So me as the sports fan, I can completely remove the fact that this is overlapping to say, all right, I see this as an opportunity next year to be able to get face value playoff tickets in the bleachers in potential World Series. And that's what it's worth because I believe in Theo Epstein. We all see the young talent they have. And just yesterday, I did a what if segment on the second episode of Bacon Shorts with Bacon Sports, where I said, what if the Cubs become the next Red Sox, where they were lovable losers turned big payroll with an awesome team?
That, I mean, that's all in the works. Like I don't know if it's a question if it doesn't happen at this point, the way things are going.
Cubs fans are now like, no, don't say that.
Yeah,
No.
right. I mean, come on, I'm from Cleveland, so
Right.
anything I say turns to dust. But yeah, I mean, like you said, how good of a time is that? Like you absolutely hit the like perfect. I mean, this happens 6 years ago. You're probably like, sorry, like
Get this. My boy, Matt, shout out to Matt, helping out with the Bacon Sports and Beer Celebration 2 straight years. Loving Matt. Bought season tickets, awesome ones, to the Cubs 2 years ago when they weren't good. He dropped them this year. And now he's like, oh, because he got one bad season of the Cubs. And I had partial Cubs season tickets right when I moved to Chicago. I bought 4 13-game packs, and it was a nightmare because try and get rid of May 3rd on a Tuesday at 12:30 against
Right.
the Brewers tickets when it's 51 degrees out. And you're like, man, what in the world am I doing with this stuff? So the experience was awful for me. However, if we're talking now summertime, just maybe sell or go to White Sox, Cardinals, Pirates, big out of market games, plus having the action for the playoffs,
yeah, absolutely. So where are the seats at?
I can get bleacher seats.
No, you can't.
Yes.
Oh my God, you do that 10 out of 10 times without even flinching.
Right.
God.
And
Yeah.
I do own one Cubs shirt. It's a Harry Carey shirt. I felt that's the best way for me to support them while still being as neutral as possible.
Right. I agree.
And I love Joe Madden as a manager. I think he's fantastic. I think any baseball fan would love to have Joe Madden as their coach.
Yeah. I think you're right. It's like almost like thinking about it, it's the same blueprint as the Red Sox.
Right.
When they came up, have a good manager in place, respected around the game, have some young guys coming up. And I mean, look, some of the guys are still stayed with the Red Sox for a while. Poppy is pretty much the only one left, but I mean, this team is so young, and it's like almost like this is next year. Like everybody knew they were going to get better, but this wasn't supposed to go on until next year. So
Right.
yeah, that's a hell of a phone call you took.
I found that kind of ironic. Yet continuing this just insanely wonderful day. All right, you mentioned that you are a Cleveland fan. There's some news out of Cleveland. Johnny Football is no longer the starter. Bring back Luke McCown, someone that we all know has a 0% chance of taking any team to the Super Bowl. But with Johnny Football, hey, 175 and 2 touchdowns with no interceptions. But more importantly, as we all know, what's it about? The victories. He got the W, good or bad. Luke McCown is now the starter. What do you think about that, Tom?
I think we're going 15-1. Should really be a question there. Actually, in reality, I may be one of the few people that actually like this move. And there's a multitude of reasons here. Number one, McCown's a game manager. Yeah, he takes unnecessary hits. He was doing it in the preseason. He's done it before. But I think he warms the seat. I mean, if anybody knows anything about football, odds are four people are going to start for the Browns this year. So it's not like this happening is going to prevent Manziel from getting back on the field. I think what it does is give him a little taste of victory. Hopefully, light the fire some more for him, but then also let him sit behind McCown a little bit more. Everybody got so excited. Those two plays are awesome. I mean, the stadium was absolutely rocking on Sunday, loud as I've heard it in a long time.
So, do you go to the Browns games?
Yeah, I still have season tickets, but
Browns season ticket holder. We're adding to the list of Tom Hamm intro.
Yeah, so it started on a side note when they had their good year with the People's Champ Derek Anderson and went 10-6 and missed the playoffs. Well, everybody thought that was a good foundation. So I'm like, I ended up driving up from Cincinnati for like 5 games. I'm like, you know what? Let's get season tickets. And then it just went the other way. And
how many hours is that drive?
About 3.5. So
when would you do the drive home?
Sunday night, usually about anywhere from like 9 to 10, depending on how the day went.
So you got to drive home from 10 until 1:30 following a Browns loss. Oh,
yes. Yeah. So it never made things great, but so now I split. I'm 4 games a year, which is perfect. Probably in reality make 3, but it's to be able to split it. Like I'm not gonna. If I still did all 8 games, I'd drop them. So it works out perfect. But so back to it. The thing people aren't looking at with Manziel is like, okay, yeah, his quarterback rating was like 130 something, but he was 8 of 15. You take out those 2 long bombs.
right.
One was a broken play, which that's what he brings. Like that's what you want to see from him. Like he didn't last year. So you're going 6 of 13 for 65 yards. Like, I don't care who you are. Like, that's not going to cut it. And then he's putting the ball on the carpet, and you've got to clean that up. So I think it's a good thing because McCown's style of play, the aggressiveness, and then he's just not that good. That'll take care of itself, whether he gets hurt or he just stinks up the joint like Hoyer did at the end of the year. Manziel's going to be back on the field. So I think in reality, I think it's a really good thing.
How ridiculous was that helicopter trying to get into the end zone by McCown? It's like, dude, do you think you're Michael Vick or something?
I mean, the fact of I can run that play like it just happened right now. I'm watching it. It's third and goal at the 15, and he drops back, and it's like the Red Sea parts, and I'm like, why is this guy running? Like, does he know who he is? And I'm like, there's no way in 15 yards that nobody's going to close. Well, all of a sudden, he gets his momentum and his eyes get so wide. I'm like, kind of actually has a shot. And then he like starts to dive at the 5-yard line. Like, okay. And just the ultimate insult was there goes the ball after this 17 play, like 12-minute drive. And it's just like, that probably goes our season too.
So I was especially paying attention to that for 2 reasons. One, I had Chris Ivory on my DFS teams all over the place. And after that drive, I'm like, man, Chris Ivory needed to get that ball. And then second, I had the Jets in my survivor pool. At the time, if you remember, the Jets were only like a 3.5-point favorite, and they weren't this win 2 games Jets. This is starting the season. I was like, all right, I know this is a gigantic risk. And heading into that drive, I was like, crap, this is not what I wanted to see. Until that fumble happened and the game completely got changed because of it.
Absolutely. I mean, first of all, I love the aggressiveness because everybody who plays the survivor pools picks the like set in stone games. And I mean, we all know the first 4 weeks in the NFL is the hardest thing to bet because there's no consistency yet.
Right.
So I'm looking at our schedule thinking like, okay, we're going to New York. Like it's a doable game. Like not that we're great or we have anything to really get excited.
Winnable.
It's absolutely winnable. And the reason that it really started to turn on me was when our boy Geno Smith got his jaw busted. Like he was Glass Joe. I was like, I don't want Fitzpatrick. The guy's so good in the first 6 weeks of every season. And he
Right.
goes downhill. So, but that first drive kind of like reassured me. And then the way it ended, I was just like, all right, should have seen this coming, but that Kool-Aid is just tasting too good.
Right. All right. So I was actually going to shoot a different video today, and I don't know if I mentioned this because I'm losing my mind at this moment. I'm going to try and shoot a video every day, 5 days a week. And for today's video for Bacon Shorts, it was going to be a little bit something different, but I'll play it with you because it's going to be fun. All right. Celebrating a birthday today on September 23rd is Eric Montross. Yeah, the big North Carolina center. We've got Matt Kemp, Jabba Chamberlain. Remember when the Yankees didn't want to trade Jabba Chamberlain because he was going to be the second coming of Mariano Rivera?
Right. That worked out pretty well.
All right, so here's how we'll do this. We'll do like little one-liners with this. You got something to say about these people? We can definitely do that. That'll make it easier format. All right, you'll have something to say about this guy, Marty Schottenheimer, a coach that, correct me if I'm wrong, got fired after he went 15-1 with the Chargers?
Was it 15-1 or 14-2?
Yeah, something
Regardless,
insane like that.
regardless. And the people he had on that team, I mean, what did he do? Like the only thing I have an explanation is when he was in Cleveland, they called it Marty Ball. And
Right.
every time I'd see him on the sidelines of the Chargers, I'm like, at some point this is going to unravel. So that
Right.
it did.
All right, Tony Mandrich, former steroid offensive lineman that went to Michigan State. I think he was drafted by the Green Bay Packers.
That guy is he's pretty much like Anthony Bennett, Bus City.
Right.
Uh,
Looks like Drago.
oh, absolutely, absolutely. Didn't he say he'd like used to shoot up at practice or carry something around in his pads?
Right, something crazy. All right,
Yeah.
Bruce Springsteen, the boss.
The
Big
boss,
big shout out to the boss. I had a boss phase in high school.
he's the man. I mean, to still have your own channel 24/7 on satellite radio, that's impressive.
WWE wrestler Matt Hardy.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
Remember when the Hardy Boys were crushing? Like right when Hardcore Rules just started? Like there was ECW and then there was the WWF's version with the Hardy Boys before that all mixed together.
Those were the days. Those are the pure days of wrestling.
With Lita, was that her name?
Yes, absolutely.
She was hot.
Good.
All right, Trinidad James, I'll go everything.
Pretty much took the words out of my mouth right there.
Right. I think you'll like this one, Lazy Bone.
Bone Thugs and Harmony, man. Special place in my heart. Creeping on a come up in East 1999 Eternal.
Oh, yeah. East 9999.
Cleveland is the city where we come from.
Man, that album, God, I could still listen to that on repeat.
One of the few start to finish albums still out there.
Because why wouldn't a suburban white kid from Pittsburgh want to listen to Double Glock? I mean, let's get real.
Absolutely. I mean, my dad took away a Bone Thugs CD when I was growing up just because of the explicit lyrics. So
Of course, there's a 0% chance I'd be allowed to listen to that. Are you kidding me?
yeah, have to sneak it in.
Right, exactly. I need to sneak in listening to people chamber Glocks. Ouija, are you with me?
Murder,
Right.
midnight.
All right. This last one, I actually wanted to be the entire theme of what the show was going to be, and it is George Costanza, a.k.a. Jason Alexander's birthday today. But screw Jason Alexander. We're talking about George Costanza.
George Costanza, love that T-bone.
So I was going to do an entire theme with George Costanza, and I started writing down ideas for what I was going to do, and we'll just talk about some of these ideas. One, I own a George Costanza jersey, and I was going to wear it right now, but I clearly forgot in the 4 minutes it took me to think of that idea and then come to this podcast. But It is unbelievable. It's actually 2 sizes too big, but you can't pass up when you find a George Costanza sewn Yankees jersey 00.
That is absolutely phenomenal. And I don't think anybody that would see you would have any question about who it is, what it is. I mean, that's universal.
Right. So I think that jersey is going to be better on the back of a chair for me. And I say that in a positive way, where it can get more exposure by being on a chair because the size is so big, I swim in it, which makes me look like crap, even though the jersey is so fire.
Right. It's actually a pretty good idea.
And I have to give credit to the Dan Patrick Show. They do that on their show. So I like that. All right. George Costanza's wallet.
I mean, that's one of his defining moments. Everybody has their own, like, their favorite Costanza thing, but I think it's like synonymous. Like, you see somebody out there, it's not look at that wall. Like, what the hell is that guy doing? It's look at that Costanza wall. I mean, and everybody knows somebody that has it. Like, I mean, I know for a while my dad had a massive wall and was business cards and anything he found he put in it. So like everybody knows somebody who had it, but then everybody can spot it and recognize it a mile away.
Right. Opposite Day. And I actually have done Opposite Day numerous times, and I'm a gigantic proponent of Opposite Day, where George is so bad at everything. It's like, why don't you do the opposite? And it works so good for just changing up your system and your perspective. And the easiest way to describe it is, it's like the version of getting lost for the sake of getting lost. I've never done that before. But it's the same type of concept where you're like, all right, I'm going to do things differently today and see if you're not in your usual routine and rut, which can happen so easily. You just go Costanza and you're like, nope, today's different. I'm waking up at a different time. I'm going to wear different clothes. I'm going to eat different stuff. I'm going to do different things today. And we're going to see what happens. And this shit's going to be fun.
Absolutely. And does it not breed a different sort of confidence with it too?
Of course it does.
Even though you have, you have a plan of what you're doing, but it's all backwards to you. And as soon as you start to, okay, I don't care anymore. This is just, let's roll with it. Then you have nothing to worry about. And the confidence just goes sky high.
Right. You're like, you know what? I might get fettuccine Alfredo at Olive Garden.
Yeah. What is it he gets? It's tuna salad on wheat or rye. I just love that. I'm unemployed. I live with my parents.
The next thing, and my favorite thing about George Costanza is actually a comment his dad made to George Steinbrenner. How could you trade Jay Buhner?
Oh, absolutely. And the way the Yankees tie into that is so great. Like the fact that he criticizes Steinbrenner. He goes dragging the World Series trophy around the parking lot and just basically self-destructs inside of that organization. It's just, and like goes the episode where he doesn't have sex and he like, was it Jeter and like Tartable and somebody else who's showing him how to hit home runs?
All right. So the next thing is I've got a flag it, tag it coming up. And this is based off a George Costanza quote. It says, I invented, it's not you, it's me. Nobody tells me it's me. Wait, let me try it again. I invented, it's not you, it's me. Nobody tells me it's them. Not me. If anybody, it's me.
Okay, George. It
right.
is you. You're damn right it's me.
Right. Exactly. Oh, I'm sorry. I just said the wrong quote. I just randomly threw that one at the bottom. I have a different quote that I'm going to attribute because I was looking at the wrong thing. I'm much more comfortable criticizing people behind their backs. So, with that in mind, I am flagging Stephen A. Smith for, did you see the egregious tweet he had against the Yankees' Andrew Miller last night?
No.
And give me 1 second to find it. If you want to filibuster with your thoughts on Tristan Thompson, real quick, while I pull it up because I want to get it correctly so that I can properly flag Stephen A.
Yeah. As far as Tristan Thompson goes, I think you have to sign him. He's not worth max money right now, but you sign him now. Let's say you get close to he wants 5 for 94. Give him 5 for 90 if he takes it. Next year when the cap goes up, that's a steal. And the thing is, the way the Cavs roster is set up, even if they let him go, they're so far over the cap they can't sign anybody to replace him anyways. So why not?
That's all the time you got on Tristan Thompson.
All right.
All right. Stephen A. Smith says, boy, do I miss Mariano Rivera. Some Yankee non-closer just gave up a solo shot in the bottom of the night, allowing the Blue Jays to tie 3-3. I mind you, Andrew Miller has been one of the best closers in all of baseball this year. He is 34 of 36 in save opportunities, a 2.04 ERA with a 0.86 whip to go with 14.6 strikeouts per 9 innings. And Stephen A. Smith just tweeted, boy, do I miss Mariano Rivera. Some Yankee non-closer just gave up a solo shot in the bottom of the night, allowing the Blue Jays to tie 3-3. I am flagging Stephen A. Smith for that. And here's the thing. I'm going to say plenty of dumb, stupid things. But I take it if somebody in the major media knows less about sports than I do on something that they comment on, then I have an issue with stupid things like that, because I don't work for ESPN, but I still know that Andrew Miller is an awesome closer, despite the fact that I'm not a Yankees fan, and I wouldn't tweet something stupid like that. It offends me as a sports fan that a guy of his credibility would say something like that.
That goes for my stance on Stephen A. When's the last time he really did or said anything good? I don't remember. And it's almost a stay in your own lane. He came up with basketball. He's the basketball god. He knows people. He knows everything. Now he's got a big head because he's got more exposure on ESPN. And he's one of the highest paid talent there, which I don't understand. And now he thinks he's a resident expert on every sport. So he needs to stay in his lane.
Right. I was wondering what that noise was, and it was the NESN.com website, which was auto-playing a stupid ad while I was just sitting here talking to you. I'm not going to get on a soapbox about online advertising because I will go bonkers. All right. I believe that is the last thing I had. I did want to give a shout out to my friends at Guinness Brewery as well as Taylor Strategy. Last night, they hooked G. Hunt and I up with an exclusive tasting of Guinness Nitro IPA, which is a new beer that they're releasing. And Chicago is one of the markets, and I love me some Guinness. I've been to the Guinness Brewery, so it was super cool to see there. Try it. Definitely give Guinness Nitro IPA a shot. I say this is a personal recommendation because I like beer and I like Guinness. So if you like those things, you should definitely try Guinness Nitro IPA. And they did not pay me to say that. I'm just saying that because it was some good-ass beer.
That's natural. That's a natural ad for them right there.
Yeah. So, all right, Tom, that was fun. This is the first time we did this. Hopefully the sound quality was okay, and I'm able to edit the short part where we had some issues. But this was a ton of fun. Did
Absolutely.
you have anything that you wanted to leave everybody with?
The only thing I'll tell people to feel sorry for me because I'm a Cavs fan, I'm an Indians fan, I'm a Browns fan. So you know where my season's head.
Right. Well, you don't have it that bad. You just root for LeBron James. Back that shit up. Even though it hasn't happened yet, you're still getting to enjoy. You got to enjoy the journey up to the championship if and when it comes for LeBron James. You got to, because otherwise it's just too excruciating. It's going to happen. Just enjoy how awesome LeBron James is. Like I got to tell you how to root for LeBron James.
True. I guess the last thing I'll leave at is my fantasy team is in shambles as I have Des Bryant, Tony Romo, and Eddie Lacy. So pretty much a donation to the league.
I'm with you on the Eddie Lacy as well. All right, guys. I appreciate you listening to this edition of Bacon Shorts with Bacon Sports. Boom shakalaka.